Hello YouTube. Have you ever wished that you could learn piano pieces much more quickly and efficiently? In this video, I'm going to show you 5 piano practice techniques that I use myself and that I often recommend to piano students. Techniques that will help you learn pieces on the piano much faster. And 2 of the most powerful techniques that I'm going to show you in this video don't even require you to be at the piano. So be sure to watch to the end to find out what those techniques are. Now, far too many piano students simply play through their pieces over and over again, hoping that they'll somehow magically get better. But improving at the piano isn't about how much time you sit in front of the instrument. It's about how efficient and how effective your practice is. And these practice techniques that I'm going to show you can really help you achieve much more in much less time. So here we go. Practice technique number 1, hands separately. Even if you think that you have no problem playing both hands together, you'll often be surprised how much you'll notice if you concentrate on each hand alone. And pay special attention to the left hand, which is often somewhat neglected by pianists. Being able to play each hand alone will give your piano playing so much more security than if you only practice with both hands together. Sometimes I even like to switch between the hands, for example, playing a couple measures just with the left hand, and then the next couple of measures just with the right hand. Practice technique number 2, chunking. Chunking refers to taking a small section of music, for example, 1 or 2 measures, and repeating it over and over to really drill it into your system. This is great for really improving your muscle memory at the piano. And the important thing to remember is that you always want to link the sections you're practicing to one another. So if you practice one measure several times and then the next measure several times, you're going to be missing the connection between those measures. So what you should do instead is always start the next group where you left off the last one. For example, playing from beat 1 of the first measure to beat 1 of the next measure. So if I were using this chunking technique on, say, the C major prelude of Bach, I would do it like this. First, I would play up to and including the first beat of the second measure and repeat it several times like this. Right to there. That's the first beat of the second measure. And then I would start at the second measure and do the same thing. And repeat that over and over and over again. This is one of my very favorite practice techniques for really building up a feeling of security at the piano. And that's why in my online piano course at petersonpianoacademy.com, every video has a special looping feature that allows you to loop a particular part of the video over and over again. And this is really great for practicing. Practice technique number 3, slow practice. This one might seem obvious, but I can assure you that slow practice is one of the most important piano practice techniques of all. It gives you a chance to really hear everything, to make sure that every note you play on the piano is even, and to make sure that every movement you make is efficient. And what many people don't realize is that slow practice is the key to being able to play quickly, because only when you practice slowly do you have time to look at and analyze every single movement you're making. So whenever I have trouble playing anything quickly at the piano, the first thing I do is practice slowly and make sure that every movement is as small and efficient as possible. And only then do I try to speed up and play faster. Practice technique number 4, tapping the rhythm. Sometimes it can be helpful to work on just the rhythm of a piece without having to play all the notes too. So a really useful practice technique that I often recommend to students is to tap the rhythm of each hand on each leg or on the piano. In other words, the left hand taps the rhythm of the left hand and the right hand taps the rhythm of the right hand. So again, to take the example of the Bach C major prelude, the left hand would tap the first 2 notes and the right hand would tap the rest. Now, I really love this technique because it forces you to think about the rhythm and uncouples that from the notes themselves. And mastering the rhythm is, of course, absolutely crucial for any piano student. Practice technique number 5, mental practice. Now, this practice technique might be the most important one of all. And like the Last technique, you don't even have to be at the piano to use it. You might be waiting in line at the supermarket or waiting for the water to boil while you're cooking dinner. You can use that time to practice the piano. How? By imagining the pieces you're playing. Try to visualize the location of the hands on the keyboard. Try to imagine the sound of every harmony. Try to imagine as much detail of the piece with as much clarity as you can. This is also a great way to memorize piano music, and it's a skill that I think every pianist should develop. If you're an absolute beginner on the piano, you might also want to check out my video about my 3 favorite exercises for beginners. I'll put the link in the description of this video. Start using these 5 piano practice techniques, and I think you'll be amazed at how much faster you progress as a pianist. I wish you all happy practicing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.